Yeah, go on.
Because marriages in this country don't last 5 years. You'd have been together as a business partnership for nearly 50 years.
No, we've been married for nearly 50 years.
How do you stay pals, Perry?
Well, we don't all the time.
No, the initial thing was that we'll give one another space. When there's a problem, invariably, we'll eventually talk about it. But if there's a bit of a... We let it fester for a while. And we just sort of stand and look at one another.
We're neither good with confrontation. It's just we'll just clash. Well, it doesn't go anywhere.
That's why in the band, when we're on the road especially, well, better not say that then, because that's going to cause a bit of a rut, So we hold it until such times, and we know when the time's right, don't we? We come together and say, remember that like last month that you said? And it just comes out when it comes out. And we get on particularly well. I mean, we're getting on very well at the moment. The last year or so, we've been getting on 50 fucking years. We've been getting on well for the last year or so.
But I think as well, historically, there seem to be lots of acts that are kind of renowned for the fact that the two main people fight. That's just not mine. He's on my book. If I hit him or he neither one of us will go back. There'd be no going back from there. And because we've been together this long, I wouldn't be able to get over it. And I don't think he would. No. So how other people find that it's good for the band, shit. It's not good for me.
No, we'll never get to that point. But as I say, we give one another space, and we just know how to live alongside one another under the showbiz banner, if you like. I mean, if we were put together in a house together, we'd be fucking nightmare. It would be an absolute nightmare. But we know what we've got to do. We have our days are always structured, right? It's almost an exact science what we do. We eat at the same time every day. We know when to rest. I know when he's resting. I'm resting. We know what we're doing out here. But when we go home, I mean, I won't speak to him for 2-3 months. We won't even speak unless
if we have to.
If we have to. But apart from that, I wouldn't phone him up and say, hello, how you doing? All right, blah, blah, blah.
But we're also very, very alike, and at the same time, totally opposite, which is why I think it works. There are certain things that you can't move either one of us on, and there are certain things you won't move both of us on, because we're too agreed on it, and he knows I know it, and I know he knows it. So you could try and nobble him, it won't work, and try and nobble me, it won't work.
Try and nobble us both together.
You might get a result. We like a good nobbling together.
I haven't had a nobble for a long while. Yeah.
She's just fell off her bike.
No, it's just the way it works. We know how to work together. We know our gig. We know what to do. We know how to pull it off. We know how to be together for... we know how to pull it off.
It was that class, didn't it? Ripped his fucking head off.
But, we can be on the road for a couple of months and we'll be absolutely fine. It's just a set routine. And we love it. We still love it.
That's the danger, is we love it, and there's that, what do we do without it? And as much as the tension goes on in the day, and most you've seen them, there's a tension. It's not that we're not talking, the whole band, there's a tension, and we know we've got to go and do it. And both of us have this thing of, if you tell us now we're not doing it, yes! And then just as we leave later on and we're on the bus, we'll both go, I'd enjoy playing that note. And it won't go away. That will not go away.
No.
It's annoying.
It's particularly good at this present time. The band is really fired up, I feel anyway, and I feel really fired up, despite what's just happened recently. I feel really, that's all I'm going to say. I feel really fired up. The band's playing phenomenally well at the moment. The last few gigs, it's been just so good being on there. And when you're on there and it is feeling that good, the set goes by like that.
Yeah, it does.
63, you feel 33 when it's rocking, when it's going. You're dancing on top of it, Sometimes when the sound ain't good or for whatever reason, it gets a bit stodgy on there, and then you have to really force it. And it's like pulling a Morris Minor up a hill with a rope tied to your bollocks some nights. It's fucking difficult, isn't it?
You can imagine that now, can't you?
It really is difficult. But when it's like it is now, the sound's great. Well, for me anyway, we all get our times, don't we, with the sound?
Yeah.
Fucking bouncing on it. It's a piece of piss to do it at the moment. Rock it right the way through, no problem.
And the other thing I think a lot of bands do and we don't do, we stopped doing a long, long time ago, is the post-gig analysis.
No.
If I go to where he comes to me, no, not now. There's no point now.
No, we don't talk about it at all.
It comes to, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen the following day, because the reality is now, not the post-gig. I'm quite euphoric after a gig, whether it's bad or not. I'm still quite up. So we're likely to commit to things that in the cold light of day you don't want to happen. Is that 2 questions you've had so far?
And it again is the worst time after the gig to talk about it, because invariably one comes off and one has a vodka and tonic or whatever.
Yeah, all right, whatever. Yeah.
And oh, well, you have whatever you have when you come off, and it's not the time to talk about the gig in the cold, as Francis said.
It's a cold
light of day. There's anything to say about it, say it the following day.